Okay, so now we're going to review numbers in base 10 standard 5, which is the multiplication strategies. I'm going to go through all of them and with the same exact problem so that you can see how they all work. Your student is allowed to pick whichever one works best for them. I just am responsible for teaching all of them so that all students have access to the information. So the very first one we're going to start with is going to be the area model. And before we start with this one, we're going to review some vocabulary because I'm going to refer a lot to like the multiplier and the multiplicand so that we all are on the same page. So the multiplicand is the number that gets multiplied. It's the first number in the problem. So for us, it's going to be 837, and we are going to multiply it by the multiplier, which is going to be 67. And so this is the multiplicand and this is the multiplier. Multiplicand is the number getting multiplied, multiplier is the number that does the multiplying, and then our answer is the product. So when we do the area model, the first thing we do is we draw a large box. And then we have to think about how many parts are we going to split this box into? And the way that we figure this out is we look at the multiplier and the multiplicand, and we look at how many digits they have. So the multiplicand in this number has 3 digits, and the multiplier has 2 digits, which is 3 times 2, which makes 6. So we're going to split this box into 6 parts. And then I'm just going to write these in here so I don't have to do it later for our tiny problems. And when we do the area model, we split the numbers into expanded form. So expanded form is when we take each place value out. So we have 800 plus 30 plus 7. And this is going to be 64. Okay. So we have 64 here. And then we're going to split up our multiplier. And we're going to go 60 plus 4. Then inside each problem, we're going to write our baby problems. And what that is that this is just like Battleship. 860 are going to meet in here, and we're going to multiply 800 times 60. 800 times 4. 30 times 60. 30 times 4. So we're going to write 800 times 60 800 times 4 30 times 60 30 times 4 60 times 70 and 7 times 4. Then we are going to find the product for these, which is the answer for these baby problems. So we look inside, and instead of freaking out and going, oh my gosh, we're going to multiply 800 times 60, we're going to take the zeros away because we know our multiplication facts. And we're going to go 8 times 6, which is 48. And then we're going to put 3 zeros on it because we know that based on powers of 10 and multiplying by tens and hundreds of thousands. So we're going to do the same thing with all the boxes. 3 times 6 is 18. We're going to put 2 zeros. We have 3 times 7, which is 42, and we're going to put 1 0. 8 times 4, which is 32. We're going to put 2 zeros. 3 times 4, which is 12. We're going to put 1 0. 7 times 4, which is 28, and we're not going to put any zeros. Now we're going to take all these little products and we're going to add them up. And we add them up just like we have been doing since we were in kindergarten. We're going to make sure that the place values are lined up. So we're going to have the tens, the ones, the hundreds, the thousands all in the same place. So we're going to go and we're going to go 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. We're going to go 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 1 is 15. We're going to regroup and carry our 1. We're going to go 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Regroup and carry our 1. We're going to go 1 plus 4 is 5. And so our answer is 53,568. I taught the students a check, and so we're going to go over that. On the top, we put the sum of the multiplicand digits. So our multiplicand for this problem is going to be 837. So we have the sum of the digits. So we're going to add the digits up. I always try to make 10 because it's the quickest and easiest way to add things. So I go 10 plus 7 is, 7 plus 3 is 10. And then I add 10 plus 8, which is 18. Now that I have this answer, the rule is that I can't have a double digit number. It can only be single digit. So I just have to keep adding until I get a single digit. So I add 1 plus 8, which is 9, and there's my single digit. I'm going to do the same thing with the multiplier. That goes on the bottom. So I have 64, and I go 6 plus 4 is 10. Well, 10 is a 2-digit number, so I add 1 plus 0, which is 1. And then I multiply 9 times 1, which equals 9. And that number goes over here. So if I had a 2-digit number, so let's say I had 9 times 7, I would have 63, and then I would add 6 plus 3 until I get 9, until I get down to a single digit. But in this case, it's pretty simple. 1 times 9 is 9, and that goes over there. Then on the right-hand side, I'm going to add up the product digits. So I'm going to make 10. I have 5 plus 5, which is 10. I know this is 14, so I had 10 plus 14 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Well, I can't have 27, so I need to add them again. I go 2 plus 7 is 9, and that's my single digit. And the rule for the check is that if these two are the same, your answer is most likely correct. And the reason why it's most likely correct is because there's many different combinations that can equal 9. If you remember, I had said earlier, if I had 9 times 7, this would be 63. Well, 6 plus 3 also equals 9. So I could have accidentally made a mistake. So that's why our answer is most likely correct. But it does beat us dividing 53,568 by either 64 or 837. So that is how you do the area model.